All right, guys, can I get you to move in closer, please? All right, so this is what you've all been waiting for, the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. Wait, Thiago, please don't touch that. Please don't touch it. Ah. What's up, real lifers? I'm here in front of this super cool active volcano. Have you ever been to a volcano? If not, you should totally come here. Oh my God. Oh, hey. How can I help you? Sorry. Do you speak English?
Oh, yes, I do. Do you have available rooms here for tonight?
Yeah, we do have a couple of rooms available. Is it just for the two of you?
Yes, just two of us.
Fantastic. So enjoy your stay at Real Life Hostel. Hey, what's up? So we here at Real Life English truly believe that being a confident and natural English speaker can literally change your life. For example, it could open up a whole new career path for you. So in today's lesson, we are going to be looking at 10 possible future jobs that you could have as a fluent English speaker. But before we do, if you're new here, well, every week we make lessons just like this one that help you to go from being a lost and insecure English learner to being a confident and successful English speaker. If that sounds like something that you would like for your English, then why don't you join our community of over 300,000 real-lifers from around the world who are doing just that by hitting that subscribe button and the bell down below. So you probably already know that English is the global language. And this is amazing because if you become a fluent English speaker, it opens up all sorts of opportunities for you basically anywhere in the world. Just imagine, you could be working in a job with people from many different countries. And nowadays, since the pandemic, it's become more common than ever to be able to work remotely online with people from all over the world, just like we do here at Real Life English. And so we'll be looking at some jobs that you can do online and other ones that maybe you can find in your city or by traveling abroad. And finally, it's probably something that you already have on your mind. It can be a huge benefit to be making money in another currency, like the dollar, the euro, or the pound. So let's get started with our list. First up, you could become a tour guide, and this is a perfect job if you love things like history, art, or culture. And nowadays it's become easier than ever with different services like Airbnb experiences. You could even get started just giving a tour in your city for free, volunteering, so that you can get a little bit of experience. And oftentimes with these kind of tours, I know at least here in Barcelona, they offer some of these, and they're completely based on tips. So if you do a really good job, if you go above and beyond, then people are going to want to give you money even though you're just volunteering to start out with. And many fluent English speakers gravitate towards the tourism industry. So this could be a great place for you to get started if that includes you. And you could maybe start out with this in your own city and then even look for opportunities abroad. So it could be a great way for you to get some traveling experience. And continuing in tourism, you could work in the hospitality industry. You could, of course, become a restaurateur. You could be someone who works as a waiter or a busboy or busgirl in a restaurant. That's the person who cleans up the plates after people are finished eating. A really great thing if you're able to do this in a country like the United States is you would even get tips again. But if you live in a big city, it can be even just great to look for restaurants that are in more touristic areas. And maybe the pay isn't even that great, but you're really looking for that experience to start developing your English with people who are traveling so that you're using your English out there in the real world. You're gaining some more confidence with your speaking. And of course, you could also be working in a hotel or in a hostel as a receptionist. And this gives you tons of opportunities to meet people from around the world. And actually, I have some friends who have incredible English speaking, and guess where they got their start? They worked as a receptionist in a hostel, and this even allowed them to meet travelers and to even make some friends that they have until this day. Something else that you could do is organizing events, which is something that we used to do at Real Life English. We would have these really great big English parties where, we'd be in Brazil or here in Barcelona, and a bunch of locals get together and speak English with some drinks. It's really fun. So I used to love going to other events too here in Barcelona. This would be a great thing to look for improving your English in your city. But even if you don't have these in your city, then why don't you be the person who organizes it? Even if it's just a few people getting together to have some fun speaking English, it can be a really great way to make connections. And again, you're getting some valuable experience that you could then use to apply to a future job. Or maybe you're already working in a multinational company, but you just have not had many opportunities yet to use your English in your job. If this is the case, then I highly recommend that you have a conversation with your boss and you tell him or her that you would be really open to any opportunities like this where you could use your English. So this might look like traveling, which can be really great because, a lot of people have families, they don't want to be away from them. So if you show that you're interested in this, maybe because you're younger or you're single or your partner is really open to that, then maybe those opportunities can pop up and they will think of you and send you on that plane to that other place. Some of these don't even have to necessarily be that you're going for a meeting or something like that. A lot of times companies will promote their employees going abroad for different learning experiences. So maybe it could be attending a conference at your company's headquarters or something like that. So I highly recommend that you look into if your company offers any benefits like this. Or even if your company is offering these kind of opportunities digitally to attend some sort of webinar or digital event, I highly recommend again that you jump on it because getting this kind of experience will give you the skills that you need then to be considered for future opportunities. And it can just look great on your resume that you've attended these kind of things. Eventually, maybe even you can apply for a job in another country. So if that's something you have as an objective in your life, then make sure that you're taking advantage of any opportunities that you already have where you are right now. And depending what career you're in or what you're studying, what you studied at university, you can find so many opportunities to be working remotely, especially since the pandemic. Lots of companies are going online. They're finding that it's much easier to find talent from anywhere in the world than just limiting themselves to the city where they are physically located. So you should definitely consider looking into this if it's something that you're interested in. And again, it's just great for getting that experience of working with people from other countries and using your English in the workplace. There are tons of different ways that you can do this. Obviously, you can be directly hired by a company to work for them, but you could also be a freelancer who works with different companies or entrepreneurs. So if you have some sort of skill that could really help other people, then you might want to check out some websites like Upwork or Fiverr, where you can display these skills and you can already be getting paid for doing those things. If you get enough clients, maybe it'll even give you the opportunity to travel abroad or to do other things that you're really passionate about. And if you have really fluent English, one of these potential jobs could be being a translator. You could get hired by a company to do this. People always need to translate documents and websites and things like this into English. And a lot of times they will even have a person on their team who does that. You could start your own translation business and work with different companies or work as a freelancer with people who are just working on projects that need to be translated. If you get really good at this, then you could even specialize in it, get some sort of certification and even become a live interpreter. Just imagine being at some sort of event where you're listening and you're having to translate as it's going. It would be pretty exciting, right? If you are looking for job opportunities, one of the most priceless things that you can have is a really stellar network of different people. So you obviously want to build the people that you have connections with on LinkedIn. And one great way for you to meet people from around the world is with the Real Life app, because this is the only place where you can download it, log in, press a button, and instantly be connected to another English speaker in another part of the world. So just imagine all the different people that you can meet with these fun and dynamic conversations, and who knows what opportunities it might bring you. It can be a really great way for you to start practicing your English, which is exactly what you're going to need to do if you actually land any of the jobs that we're talking about today. So I highly recommend that you give it a try, get out of your comfort zone, try something new. You can download it now by clicking up here or down the description box below. Or you can just look for Real Life English in the Apple app or Google Play Store. Okay, so maybe you don't have so much confidence when it comes to speaking yet, but you're a really great English listener. So if this is the case, have no fear, there are still opportunities for you. You could become a transcriber. Now, if you've never done this before, you definitely are going to want to get some practice because it requires really fast typing. But once you get the hang of it, then this can bring you all sorts of opportunities. You can connect with people online on websites like I mentioned earlier, like Upwork or Fiverr, and this could open up a whole new job for you. You could even become an entrepreneur having your own transcribing business. Now, I'm a bit biased, but I think this is definitely one of the coolest options that we have here on the list today. So I'm not sure if you've been following us for very long, but if you have, then you might know that over on our Learning English with TV series channel, I used to actually film videos on my old iPhone. It wasn't even this one, it was a much worse one. And so having a phone nowadays gives you so much power because you can become a content creator. So lots of businesses hire people to create content for their social media or for blogs. You could even just create your own content. Maybe it could be around English learning or something else that you're skilled or passionate about. A lot of people nowadays can make a whole career out of becoming an influencer. Or maybe you're really into travel, and if you're having some plans to backpack around Europe, for example, you could actually document the whole thing on your phone and trying to do it in a high quality way. And then you could actually take all these adventures that you're having and turn it into tips for other people. So you could be a travel vlogger or a travel blogger if you prefer writing. And even just doing this as a hobby, just for yourself, or maybe for your friends, or maybe to connect to a few close fans, then this can be a really great way to practice your English by recording yourself and watching yourself. Trust me, when I first started out doing this, I felt super awkward seeing myself on camera, hearing my voice, but you get used to it, and it's a really great way to build your confidence, to identify different mistakes you're making, and to improve your English a ton. And maybe you're like me and you have an entrepreneurial spirit. You want to start your own business, or perhaps you already have started your own business. Knowing English and being fluent can help you to expand your operations to other countries. Really, if you don't know English, it's really difficult to do that. You can start doing marketing in English so that people from other countries can discover what you're up to. Or maybe you're a more creative type. Maybe you're an artist of some sort. So many famous actors like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Penelope Cruz, Sofia Vergara would not be where they are today if they didn't know English and if they hadn't worked really hard at getting to a really high level of confidence with their English speaking, even with some mistakes or even with a bit of an accent. Or maybe you're a musician. If you start making some of your music in English, it doesn't have to all be in English, of course, it can again help you to gain fans from other countries. People like Anita wouldn't have gotten her huge fame that she has acquired recently if she didn't start creating some of her music in English as well as in Spanish and in her native Portuguese. Or maybe you're a writer, and once again, you could of course have someone translate your writings, but why not just try writing in English yourself and acquiring firsthand that audience? And of course, this last one is near and dear to my heart. You could become an English teacher. And there's so many different ways that you can go about this. You can, get a proper degree and you could teach at schools in your country. You could get a job at a language school. Maybe if you're still studying, then it's something that you could do to make some money on the side. You could teach privately, either online or by having people come to your house or going to students' house. You could tutor people even. Maybe if you don't have any official degrees yet, but you still want to try it out to see if you like it or just get a little bit of that initial experience, then you could, ask any of your friends if they know anyone who needs a good English tutor. And tons of people need someone to help them with their English. So you can really use your skills to help people out and make a little bit of money on the side. Or you could even volunteer to help people in your community who can't afford to learn English. So it was actually my case that I got started teaching English as a tutor. So when I was living in Mallorca, when I was 21, I got some jobs just teaching younger kids, tutoring them at their homes. And this got me a little bit of experience in learning, how to make it engaging, especially for young people. And then after university, I decided to get my teaching English as a foreign language certificate. And I moved to Brazil and I got my first job officially teaching English as a certified teacher at a language school in Belo Horizonte. From there, I was able to acquire my own private students. And then as Real Life English grew, I didn't even depend on the income from teaching English anymore. So if it's the case for you that you're a bit curious about it, you could just start small, trying out tutoring, and then you could get the certifications that you need later. And you can build your way up, and who knows what opportunities it'll bring you. You might start your own business, or you might even start your own English learning school. But remember, it's really important that you absolutely love teaching, that you're going to become really passionate about it, because you're not doing your students any service if you're not. It's really important that you learn about different methods. Even if you just start out tutoring, you need to get better and better as a teacher. You need to be passionate about learning languages. And of course, you need to continue working on your own English and perfecting it. All right, so now I'm really curious to hear from you. Which of these career paths did you find the most interesting? Which one do you think you would be most interested in pursuing? Or maybe we missed one. Why don't you let me know down in the comments below? And probably it's the case that if you want to get a job in English, at some point you're going to need to actually perform an interview. And I know this can be super nerve-wracking to do in another language. So if that's the case for you, then you might want to check out next this lesson, which will give you some helpful tips. So let's check out a clip from that now. Thank you for applying for a position at our company. I'm sorry to inform you that at this time, we won't be able to invite you to the next phase of our selection process. Best wishes for a successful job search. So this story is as old as time. It's intimidating to apply for a job for the first time, to change your current job, or to go for an opportunity in another country, especially when the interview won't be in your native language. Now, when you try and you fail, you may find yourself wondering,